Deus here with a low frequency call. I've got the audio muted on this thing. Talk a little bit here about a setting called ground sensitivity setting. Now you won't see this on any versions prior to 4.0. You won't see this on the high frequency calls. And the way you access it, you hit the ground balance button, expert key, scroll down and you'll see ground sensitivity. Default level is level 6. That's a good place to be. I have used it on level 5 and level 6 and I got good results. Now word had it when version 4 come out that this ground sensitivity setting was fixed on earlier versions, and it was fixed over at a level 10 like I've got dialed in there now. Dial it back to 6. I actually had 2 Deuses with 9-inch calls on them listening to targets, one with version 3.2 and one with version 4. One had ground sensitivity 6, the other had ground sensitivity 10, identical settings on the machines, both ground balance listening to targets. Ground sensitivity 5 and 6 yielded better results than ground sensitivity 10. These targets were dug in the wild. They were like fringe detectable targets. You would hear them. I wouldn't have dug some of these targets in a ground sensitivity 10 version, even version 4.0, okay, or the 3.2. I would not have dug them. Turns out they were old flat buttons. Some of it was lead. I also did tests on buried targets, and I could see a difference. So this machine currently has 5.2 version in it. A person might buy a used unit like this, and a person may have some programs set up, and you might go in there and try to alter their programs, but if you don't look at this, they could have this set no telling where, okay? So you may modify their programs, but you don't modify this part. And you'll save it with what they had in it because you haven't changed this. Now if you go to a factory program, it'll be defaulted unless you save a factory program under a different name. Now I did use this in 2, 3, and some 4-bar ground. I saw a benefit. I'm not using it in 5-bar ground. And when I say bars, I'm talking about Fisher F75. That detector has a meter on it that gives you an indication of how bad the ground is for ground mineralization. So I just thought I'd share this.